I've roamed the far hills and learned many skills. I've wandered on many a shore. Though often I've thought I'd gained what I sought, a voice always said, there's more. Go sing with the sun and dance with the moon. Go ride on the highest star. The reaches of space lack one special place. It's there that my heart did soar. Have you seen Sorrento? Roamed her emerald hills, breathed her morning magic, flowers and bounding rills. Beauty spring is gladness, shaming mortal skills. Have you seen Sorrento? Gazed on Naples Bay, sailed upon the blue sea, heard the wavelets play. Tell her if you go there, I'll return someday. I've roamed the far hills and learned many skills. I've wandered on many a shore. Though often I've thought I'd gained what I sought, a voice always said, there's more. Go sing with the sun and dance with the moon. Go ride on the highest star. The reaches of space lack one special place. It's there that my heart did soar. Have you seen Sorrento? Roamed her emerald hills, breathed her morning magic, flowers and bounding rills. Beauty spring is gladness, shaming mortal skills. Have you seen Sorrento? Gazed on Naples Bay, sailed upon the blue sea, heard the wavelets play. Tell her if you go there, I'll return someday. Have you seen Sorrento? Have you seen Sorrento?
Swami Kriyananda said that Have You Seen Sorrento is not a so-called spiritual song, which is to say it doesn't deal with spiritual subjects and it doesn't contain any obvious specific spiritual message. But inwardly, the fact that the song, like everything else Swami Kriyananda wrote, serves to uplift energy in the spine, makes it a spiritual, which is to say a spiritualizing song. And indeed, Kriyananda, being who he was, really couldn't have written anything else. And because he did also say that every song is an antidote for some negative emotion, as we've been discussing in this series, and included Have You Seen Sorrento, in fact, in the songs he assigned to Sayings from Secrets of Emotional Healing, his book, it's safe to say that Sorrento is, in its own way, spiritual, in the same way that we have many instrumental songs that are also spiritual and spiritualizing, including the one called Hawaiiana that's really almost a parody song and just has lyrics that are complete and utter nonsense to begin with. In any case, the prelude of Sorrento here clearly suggests to me that something more is going on in the song than being just a nice little ditty about some town in Italy. I've roamed the far hills and learned many skills. I've wandered on many a shore. Though often I thought I'd claimed what I'd sought, a voice always said there's more. Go sing with the sun and dance with the moon. Go ride on the highest star. The riches of space lack one special place. It's there that my heart did soar. This voice is suggesting that Sorrento is really a state of consciousness, a key to which is that later line, beauty's spring is gladness. A state of consciousness that says that being happy and delighting, being in a state of bliss, that's the answer to the question, there's more, or the seeking of what's more. And when you have that inner happiness, then you have this state of Sorrento wherever you may happen to be. And also that line, tell her if you go there, I'll return someday. It's kind of saying when you reach that state of consciousness yourself, tell it that the rest of us will also be coming home to that consciousness, for that divine state truly is our home. In the deeper sense, then, this question of have you seen Sorrento is not really about a region of Italy at all, which, of course, being part of Maya has its own problems. But it's rather a question that asks, have you, friend, touched that state of bliss? And if not, why not? What's holding you back? The whole song, in fact, ends without returning to the tonic note, the primary note of the key. If you heard it at the end, it goes, have you seen Sorrento? It kind of stays up and lifts up, which is to leave you with the question, have you seen Sorrento, rather than providing a definite resolution or an answer. It leaves you wanting to find that answer for your own. Now in the spine, the prelude that we have, the whole I've roamed the far hills part, starts by touching the heart, and more specifically a searching heart. And in fact, in the Mediterranean Magic Suite, the whole set of songs for the slideshow called Mediterranean Magic, it deals with a lot of different states of the heart and struggles of the heart and provides solutions for those, Sorrento being a solution of gladness. And so it really, in coming near the beginning of that suite, it's addressing that searching, yearning heart. So roaming the hills is suggesting peaks in the valleys, which is to say the ups and downs of emotions. Learning skills suggests applying willpower and talents in the search for happiness. And then wandering on shores suggests a seeking through thought and through the intellect as well as through the body, whether seeking on shores of the physical ocean or on the ocean of knowledge, or on might even say the ocean of wisdom. Kind of staying on that shore but not really diving in too deeply. And as long as you're staying on that shore, you're not going to experience the full extent of it. All of these statements there in the prelude imply that seeking happiness or bliss through such outward activity is never really satisfying. It never satisfies that aching thought of there's more, there must be more. Swami Kriyananda repeatedly tells of asking himself these questions in his youth before he met Paramahansa Yogananda. In his book, The New Path, in fact, he chronicles how he sought that bliss, that something more, in many different ways, but could never find it, until at last he turned into his own self, as we must all. The voice in this prelude then says, which is the voice of higher consciousness, is also very kindly and gentle, allowing us to explore Maya however long we want, saying, go sing with the sun of intellect and brightness, go dance with the moon of love and feeling. In Greek mythology, you can see that's Apollo and Dionysus, if you have familiarity with that, which is very classical of seeking things with the intellect, seeking love and feeling. and then go right on the highest star of achievement and accomplishment. But for all that, it asks, does your heart yet rest? The riches of space, that is, of all material creation, lack one special place, which is that place that's not out there somewhere in space at all, but rather within yourself. You must seek that joy within, for it's there that my heart did soar, as the song says. This voice then, in asking, have you seen Sorrento, is the question of saying, have you touched that bliss? And if you say no, it then asks, well, let me guide you then. Let me show you how that's felt. The next verse then lifts the heart's energy up to the throat chakra with expansiveness. Have you seen Sorrento roamed her emerald hills, roamed the hills of calmness and peace? That's what that emerald greenness really makes you feel like. And that breathe the morning magic through pranayama, referring to the throat chakra as well, that where you're feeling the ether quality. Do you see the flowers of happiness, the bounding rills, which is to say the bounding small streams of joy, suggesting that joy can come in little bits and it doesn't have to always be in some great grand peak experience. Beauty's spring, or its source, then, is gladness, which is to say the simple choice to be happy is the source of beauty and joy. Pure gladness comes from within. It's not conditioned by any outward circumstances. So that idea of beauty's spring is gladness reminds us that it's a mistake to ever ascribe our happiness to something outside of ourselves, as when we say very commonly that such and such made me happy, or I need this or that to make me happy. You can't search for it outwardly in yourself. Those things are always making something awaken in yourself which you already had, that you can always seek inwardly. Now that pure inner joy too is what shames the mortal skills, or shames mortal skill. Just as happiness is not in outward things or in circumstances, neither is it in achievements or works of effort that attempt to then produce joy. Inwardly, that high note at the end of the phrase, beauty spring is gladness, lifts the energy to the medulla, where shaming mortal skill is a challenge to the ego, asking, really honestly, can you create this joy on your own? Can you do it through any skill of your own? And the answer is no. You must instead give yourself into something greater. That's the only way that you're going to achieve it from the medulla's point of view. And assuming that you do offer yourself as the upward flow of energy from the heart through the throat, now encountering the medulla helps push it forward, the energy flows to the spiritual eye. And at that point, the voice can ask, have you seen Sorrento, gazed on Naples Bay, and sailed upon the blue sea? This is all referring to looking into the blue sea of the spiritual eye, as we discussed with the song Sailing the Blue Sea. And more than just gazing, which implies a kind of focused, concentrated state as in meditation, we're sailing on that blue sea into the spiritual eye itself, into that star at the center of the spiritual eye. And it's there we hear the wavelets play, suggesting the waves of Om playing in the Leela of creation. And then finally we have that line, tell the higher consciousness or Divine Mother, that I'll return, because we must each return to that true home. It's where all our wanderings and all our experiments and desires ultimately lead, even if we must get there through the path of anguishing monotony, as Yogananda calls it in Autobiography of a Yogi. Now, overall, the simple message of this song is that once you choose to be happy in yourself, beauty then follows. Not the other way around, which is that attempt to try constantly to put yourself in the presence of beauty or in circumstances that somehow you think will make you happy. The song is also soothing to a great degree, helping you relax away from that misdirected outward striving. The real idea here is a bit challenging because, again, the song is ostensibly outward about Sorrento and Italy, but really it's suggesting an attitude of looking and experiencing, a way to use the senses to see and hear and to feel gladness wherever you are. Then relax into what's there. See it with joy. So have you seen in this way, the song asks? Have you tried this approach, my friend? These are the questions that are being asked here. And if you say no or object in some way, then the response is, well, why not? What's there to lose by trying this kind of attitude in your life? The consciousness of the song then is one of the awareness of beauty and kindness and other such lovely qualities. And if you choose to see that beauty, then any negativity you might have in yourself will be lifted up and transformed. And one such way that negativity manifests is as unkind thoughts, which is the quality that Kriyananda assigns to this song in Day 10 of Secrets of Emotional Healing. He writes, "The secret of overcoming unkind thoughts is to reflect that the person you hurt most when you are uncharitable is yourself. And by but the same principal recipient also of your blessings then, when you are kind to others, is also yourself." And by encouraging such generosity then, the song helps to counter other negative emotions like selfishness and arrogance and pride in oneself, and of course just negativity in general. And then if we also reverse the energy of the song, the upward flow with its particular qualities, and bring it back down the spine and let it sink in the heart, this tells us a lot of the kind of energy that the song will counter. And what we're left with in this state is emotions like sadness, as well as irritation and bitterness, which in many cases is unkind thoughts directed not only to people, but to circumstances and to the world at large. And it's the bitterness especially that's due to the idea that your happiness relies on the things that you do outwardly. The roaming, the wandering, the gaining skills, the applying of those skills, and so on. But the answer is again not in doing, it's in being. Get yourself to Sorrento, that state of consciousness. That's what the song is saying. Go within yourself to discover that true joy of your own being and see that your view of the world, your whole consciousness, is then transformed.
I've roamed the far hills and learned many skills. I've wandered on many a shore. Though often I've thought I'd gained what I sought, a voice always said, there's more. Go sing with the sun and dance with the moon. Go ride on the highest star. The reaches of space lack one special place. It's there that my heart did soar. Have you seen Sorrento? Roamed her emerald hills, breathed her morning magic, flowers and bounding rills. Beauty's spring is gladness, shaming mortal skills. Have you seen Sorrento? Gazed on Naples Bay, sailed upon the blue sea, heard the wavelets play. Tell her if you go there, I'll return someday. I've roamed the far hills and learned many skills. I've wandered on many a shore. Though often I've thought I'd gained what I sought, a voice always said, there's more. Go sing with the sun and dance with the moon. Go ride on the highest star. The reaches of space lack one special place. It's there that my heart did soar. Have you seen Sorrento? Roamed her emerald hills, breathed her morning magic, flowers and bounding rills. Beauty spring is gladness, shaming mortal skills. Have you seen Sorrento? Gazed on Naples Bay, sailed upon the blue sea, heard the wavelets play. Tell her if you go